Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Nerd News Update. Alright, so we got plenty of news to talk about today. Alright, let's go start off with, of course, the Call of Duty stuff. You know, I like to report on Call of Duty. Alright, so Call of Duty Warzone got a new mode called Clash. It's a large-scale team deathmatch in smaller sections of the overall Verdansk map. I played a match of it, really fun. Did some sniping, got a finishing move, lots of fun stuff there. Also, they added zombies camos to Warzone. Basically, the camos you can earn through the zombies mode in Black Ops Cold War, you can now equip those in Warzone, so that's really cool. The zombies camos are the ones I'm going for, you know, every once in a while. I've got a decent amount of the weapons gold in the zombies mode. Alright, anyway. Black Ops Cold War also got a significant update with its Season 5 Reloaded event. I finally got a chance to check out all the new stuff. So first of all, they added a new world event / side mission in Outbreak, which is called the Black Chest event. This event is really cool. It's got like this ghost that's stuck in this chest, and to get him out and to get a lot of rewards, you have to break these 3 locks, which are these flying orbs that fly around. They can damage you. They take a lot of damage before they break, and zombies will appear around them until you break them. It's really hard, but you get some really cool stuff. Like, we got this thing that gives you a free pack-a-punching of your weapons out of it. I'm sure you can get other stuff like other high-quality stuff. I'm wondering if you can get the wrench that gives you an extra rarity. That'd be cool, because there's a few ways you can get those already. But anyway, so that was really interesting. They added a new Outbreak region, which is like a new map, which is the Combined Arms map Armada. So this is really cool. So you're fighting zombies on these like series of, I think it's about like 5 boats, some of which are sunk and stuff like that. The interesting thing is most of the time zombies like pop out of the ground or something, but like they'll crawl out of the ground. But here there's not really any ground to crawl out of. It's a metal boat. So I see them. I think they just kind of teleport in, which is really interesting to see. Also, there's an intel item hidden underwater, which was really clever. I mean, I remember when we first got swimming. Swimming was first introduced to zombies in the map Zetsubo Noshima, and we've seen it several times since. So it's just cool to see. Now we have a map that's just way more water than we've seen before. So that was really interesting to see. And like I said, with the new intel underwater, whenever you get a new region, there's going to be tons of new intel, so always fun to get that stuff. Now, for our people who like the round-based maps the best, which I'm among those. I love Outbreak and round-based, but anyway. In the round-based maps, in the starting rooms, there are now these little canisters, and they're marked on your little mini-map. If you activate them, switch up the difficulty. And that's why it's called the Rampage Inducers. It makes those zombies rampage against you. And what I'm talking about, from round 1, you are getting sprinters. And I'm talking full-on sprinting zombies, like World War Z, here we come. And not only that, the delay between rounds, like round 1 ends, the delay between round 1 ending and round 2 zombies spawning in, it is way shorter. So you better time your reloads accordingly. I'm telling you. So I remember me and my buddy were trying this out, and we kept like challenging ourselves to get to like round 15 on this. Alright, so fun fact, the inducer, it only lasts until round 20. I think after round 20 it'll go back to normal. But it is so much fun, and not to mention the rounds go by so much faster because of the less spawn delay, and because they're going faster, they're getting out of the zombie spawns faster. So you can really fly through the early rounds. And I've heard some talk about people are going to try to use this for speedrunning techniques, for like completing the quests, because now you don't have to wait for the delays. You can just keep like blasting through it. So that's going to be really interesting to see, and I thought that was really fun. Oh yeah, I also did get a chance to try out the new multiplayer map Zoo. It's a smaller version of the Outbreak region Zoo, and of course it's also a remaster from Black Ops 1. I never played the Black Ops 1 version, but anyway, I thought it played pretty good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I felt the familiar aesthetic from Outbreak. I also tried the new mode they added in, which was Demolition. Demolition is like a search and destroy, but with respawns, so that was pretty cool to see. Okay. This past weekend was the PlayStation beta for Call of Duty Vanguard. You could access it if you had pre-ordered on PlayStation. Alright, and then, so, if you didn't pre-order, this weekend is going to be where it comes out. If you own a PlayStation, you can start playing. I believe it's on Thursday. It's going to open up, and you don't have to have a pre-order. You just hop in. and then the open and now and then of course the Xbox and PC open beta is going to start. I believe it's going to be starting on Friday or Saturday, one of those two. Maybe the PS4. Point is, beta for Vanguard is coming this weekend, and if you didn't pre-order it, you can still try it out and see what you think about it. I've heard some stuff from like this one YouTuber, Prestigious Key. Go check out his videos. But there's some stuff that sounds kind of about the multiplayer, but there's also a lot of stuff that's like, ooh, cool. Like all the cool weapons, the maps look pretty interesting, there's new modes, a lot of cool stuff. Anyway, we'll just have to see when it comes out. Like I said, I'm mostly looking forward to campaign and zombies. Multiplayer, I really enjoy Call of Duty multiplayer. It's really tons of fun, I love playing it, but it's still kind of like a side thing for me. Like, you know, zombies campaign, that's the main stuff. Alright. Finally getting out of the Call of Duty news, let's talk about the PlayStation event that was on Thursday. Alright, so PlayStation. They did their big event, and I love watching these events because you get all the cool trailers and you get to have those moments like, whoa, there's new stuff coming out. The first thing they kicked off with was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. This is one of the most highly rated Star Wars games. It was originally developed by the company BioWare. I've only played one BioWare game all the way through, so I've not played this one. I also have not played Mass Effect or Dragon Age. Anyway, BioWare is a pretty notable developer, and I heard a lot of people say this Star Wars game is one of the best ones they did, so Knights of the Old Republic. Then, let's see. The remake, it's apparently going to be a ground-up remake, similar to like Resident Evil style, like with what they did with 2 and 3. So that's going to be interesting. I think I probably will have the remake be my first experience of playing this game. It's coming to PS5 and I believe PC. There might be some timed exclusivity. I'm not 100% sure if it is going to make its way to Xbox after a timed period or not. Anyway, following that, okay, there's this new game coming out called Forspoken. This one is going to be PS5 and PC. This game, Forspoken, has a really interesting concept. I've seen like some stuff on YouTube comments where apparently this is like a whole genre of anime in Japan, but this is kind of like a more novel thing for here in, Western audiences, at least from what I've experienced. The concept is you play as this woman, from the normal world, and by that I mean present day, modern, like America. At least I think it was America. But the point is, coming from like our normal world, the world we live in, but she gets transported by a portal into this epic fantasy world where there are dragons and other cool stuff like that. And she has this, it looks like an armband. I know they called it something else, but it's like this wrap around her arm that gives her superpowers, and it also talks to her. And it just looks really cool. I think the gameplay looks cool, and I think there's a lot of potential for jokes because she is from our world, making references to stuff in real life and seeing how it conflicts with stuff in the fantasy world, kind of like the way we might make a joke, if just say you or me were playing fantasy RPG and you find some beverage with some weird name, you're like, oh look, it's Ancient Mountain Dew or whatever, that kind of stuff. I wonder if we'll get some of those jokes, and also just the jokes of wanting to go home but also enjoying the part of being in this fantasy world. So I think there's a lot of interesting ways they could take that. I believe I talked about this already on one of the previous updates, but Alan Wake Remastered is happening. It's coming to the Xbox Series X. It's going to be on PC. I believe it's going to be on Xbox One as well, but don't quote me on that one. PS4 and PS5, I believe, are getting it as well. So that's going to be interesting. I've already played Alan Wake. I don't really think I need to play it again because Alan Wake is an amazing game. The mystery, I loved solving the mystery. I played it partly with my uncle, and we just had a fun time going through the story. There's lots of those aha moments, oh, that's doing that because of that. Did I already say this in one of my last videos? I probably did. But anyway, I think Alan Wake is probably my third favorite horror game, and it's cool that other people are going to be able to see it and see it in a graphic, more boosted graphics, looking nice and crisp. I think the original holds up graphically fine, by the way. I played the backwards compatible version on the 360 version, backwards compatible on Xbox. think I played through this when I still had an Xbox One. I don't think I had the Series X when I played this. No, I didn't have the Series X. Anyway. So yeah, Alan Wake Remastered, that's awesome. Speaking of things that are getting remastered, they're bringing Uncharted 4 and Uncharted The Lost Legacy to PS5 and PC. I've played Uncharted 4. I had a ton of fun with that. It's a really solid game. I've not played The Lost Legacy, so maybe I'll try these remasters one day. Or maybe I'll just find a really cheap copy of it on the PS4. So yeah, that's interesting. But now, the real meat and potatoes of this Sony event comes in the form of some Marvel video games. So, Insomniac Games made the game Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, that came out in... I don't remember when it came out. The point is, they made this Spider-Man game. It's one of my top 10 games of all time. I think it is so much fun. The gameplay is great. I can't believe it, but they finally managed to make a game that one-upped Spider-Man 2 by Treyarch. And that was awesome. By the way, there's so many good Spider-Man games. There's got a lot of them that I still haven't played yet, sitting on the shelf. Anyway, I really enjoyed Spider-Man, the PS4 exclusive one. There's a few things I would have changed, specifically some dialogue in the final showdown section, but I really enjoyed it, especially the way they took a lesser-known villain and really brought him into the spotlight and made a whole story about him. That was really cool. Now, the sequel is going to have Spider-Man Peter Parker and Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I have not played the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, which is like a interquel, takes place between the first game and this new one, which the new one is called Spider-Man 2, by the way. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the Miles Morales character, but I still think he's cool. I would like to play the Miles Morales Spider-Man game when I get the chance, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle him in this new game. Also, if you've seen the trailer, yeah, that's right, Venom is in this game. Oh, that's going to be so cool. Venom is really cool. I'm a huge fan of the Venom movie. I'm looking forward to the Venom sequel, Venom Let There Be Carnage, and it's just cool whenever you see him in games, movies, TV shows, whatever you want to see him in. He's a cool character. And then, alright, wait, let me just tell you, Spider-Man 2 is coming out in 2023, so we got a bit to go with that one. And then, Insomniac Games decided to release, or tease, another game they're working on. That's right, the same studio working on another game, and it's another Marvel game. They gave a super brief teaser of a Wolverine game. That's right, Wolverine. Now, that has got me hyped. I was a huge fan of the game X-Men Origins Wolverine by Raven Software, and I've got a few other games with Wolverine that I need to play. Specifically, I have Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 on my shelf, and I also have a borrowed copy of... my uncle lent me a copy of X2 Wolverine's Revenge, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. So yeah, Wolverine, cool character, looking forward to the game. Alright, to wrap up the discussion about the Sony showcase, I do not have a PlayStation 5. Considering I spent a good chunk of money on my Xbox Series X, I don't want to be spending a full price on the PS5. Definitely, I would want the disc drive version, so those are... Not only are they still $500, which obviously, I mean, it's a next-gen system, but they're still hard to get, considering how do I want to put this? There's shortages. Partly because of like delays and stuff because of the pandemic, and also because there's apparently this chip shortage. I actually saw a thing on the news about it. It's affecting the automobile industry hard, but it's also affecting like these electronic stuff like new gen systems. So it's like these microchips that it's either like processors or chips or some kind of technology components being delayed. So yeah, they're hard to get and they're still full priced. I'm probably going to end up doing what I did with the PS4, which is wait like a few years before the PS6 is about to come out and buy a pretty cheap version of the PS5. I'm talking like years and years down the road is when I'm going to do this. Because with the PS4, I bought mine in 2018, I believe. I got it on a Black Friday sale for $200, and it came with Marvel Spider-Man, which, by the way, Marvel Spider-Man was the game I bought the PS4 for. That was the one that I wanted to play. So basically, if you take away the cost of that new game, which was, if you take away $60 for the game, I basically spent $120 on the PS4, and you know that was a good deal. So I'll probably end up doing the same thing for the PS5. Maybe I'll find it for like $200, $250 a few years down the line. I was really like to then once I get a PS5, I can play through all these exclusives. Like I really want to play the Souls remake, I'm sure the second half of Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be out at that point. It'll probably be exclusive. I also want to play Returnal, and of course Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, and all that. And who knows, maybe that'll be the system I play Knights of the Old Republic Remake on. But yeah. But for now, I'm happy with my Xbox Series X. I've got a mountain of games I can play, until the PS4 or the PS5 drops in price. So yeah, that's my plan. There's my little ramble on that. Alright, in other news, Far Cry 6 has got some post-launch content. They showed a little trailer about it. I'm not going to go too in-depth about it, but I think Far Cry 6 looks really fun. It's one of the games I'm really looking forward to playing at some point. I've actually never played a Far Cry game. There was a Ubisoft sale a bit ago where I snagged 3, 5, and 5 New Dawn. So I'm looking forward to getting those tried. And I think I also... I might have 4 as well, and I have a disc copy of 2. So I think I'm only missing 2, the first one. Anyway, forgive the ramblings of a. I'm really rambling. Forgive the ramblings of this old gamer here. Anyway, looking forward to playing all the Far Cries. I remember seeing the trailers and stuff for like Far Cry New Dawn, and that looked really interesting. They got like this post-apocalyptic type thing going on. And I know Far Cry 3 is a very highly regarded game, so that's going to be interesting. But anyway, to wrap up today's news, they released a new trailer today for Marvel's new Disney Plus series, Hawkeye. That's right, my boy Clint Barton getting his own TV show. Hawkeye is one of my favorite Avengers. I'd go so far as to say top 3. And that's a stacked deck right there, because you got Spider-Man clogging up one of them spots already, Anyway, Hawkeye's getting his own show. It seems like it's going to expand a little bit on what he did between Infinity War and Endgame, and it's also going to introduce Kate Bishop. Which, by the way, Kate Bishop she's been getting a lot of attention lately. She was featured in the first major DLC for Marvel's Avengers, and also now she's in this show. By the way, Clint Barton Hawkeye is hands down my favorite character to play as in Marvel's Avengers. That was so much fun to play as him in that game. Anyway, I just wanted to also talk about Hawkeye as a character, Clint Barton. He's so cool. The fact that he's just a guy with no superpowers, he relies on his athletic ability, his talents with archery, and his intelligence, and he's able to easily keep up with all of these superpowered people. That's just really cool. He does a great job in the Marvel movies. He does great jobs in the TV shows like Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes and Avengers Assembled. He does a great job in those. And also, I'm trying to remember. Of course, I always love seeing him pop up in like the Marvel Lego games, and like I said, in Marvel's Avengers. So yeah, Hawkeye's cool. I remember back in high school when we were talking about Marvel characters, so many of my classmates agreed with me that Hawkeye is super cool. I mean, he's just awesome. Anyway, so yeah, he's a cool character. That's going to do it for today's Nerd News Update. Man, I really dragged this one out rambling about the Sony stuff and the Call of Duty stuff. Anyway, thank you for checking out the video. Feel free to like and subscribe if you feel like it, and have a wonderful day.